All right, here's the question the audience wants to know this morning. I'm looking at mortgage rates for the 30-year, 6.36. Does a Fed rate cut, does it finally bring the rates lower? Because we've seen cuts and the rates have actually moved higher.
You know, I think people are expecting this cut. This will be the third one this year, and I don't think it's going to make a dramatic difference. Could it eventually help a little bit, but it's not going to be anything substantial. So I don't think it's anything to get excited about. I do think people are starting to respect and understand that, the 30-year is going to hover around six or a little bit more, 6%, 6.5%. And I don't think that's going to change. I think that's what the new normal is.
All right, if that's the new normal, what happens going forward? We've seen some reports come out. I actually highlighted that middle and higher middle income consumers are expected to see their real income increase by 2.5%. Are people just going to be willing to pay up, or do you see them going to alternative products outside the standard 30-year, like an ARM or some other way to try to get into a house a bit cheaper?
I think it depends. I think a lot of people are going to go to an ARM to make it, a little bit more affordable, and they're going to have to weigh what makes sense for them. But, we still have the issue still in housing that is the challenge of prices and inventory. In many places, there is that constraint on supply. So people have been priced out. So they're waiting it out. But if they can get a product like an ARM and it makes more sense, they will do that. The good news, though, Frank, is that 2025 has proved to be a very decent year in housing overall. Despite all those challenges, we have improved. Prices have come down a little bit. Rates have, people have sort of accepted that new normal, and buyers and sellers are starting to get more into the market, which is a good thing.
All right. So, Bess, why has this persisted so long? Are tariffs one of the reasons why we're seeing just the situation of a stagnant housing market? Not only does it hit sentiment, but it also increased borrowing costs. Or is there something else going on? Because since the pandemic, we've just seen the situation of kind of just this logjam. People with low mortgages, they don't want to sell because they have to buy a house with a much higher mortgage, and people also being priced out. It just seems like the markets are going this way. It's not actually converging and improving.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen that intersection of supply and demand, which shows a healthy housing market. And I think it's a lot of those things. I think the consumer is a bit conflicted and uncertain and stressed and priced out, and affordability remains an issue. So it's various factors, including tariffs. It's so many different things, and I think people have been waiting to see what will happen before they decide to invest in something that's typically their biggest investment of their life. And so, hopefully, consumer sentiment will improve, and people will feel a sense of security and want to invest in buying a home.
All right. What about rents? How's that playing a factor in the rental market? Generally, when rents are high, it kind of pushes people into housing because they start thinking, hey, what I'm paying for rent, I could just pay for a mortgage. What are we seeing with that, especially when it comes to big urban markets?
Yeah, I mean, that challenge has been that the rental market has been sky high because of the fact that people are waiting to buy because of rates, because of prices, because of inventory. So that's pushed the rental prices way up. And so that's been another challenge. People are completely priced out of the rental market. And so, you're seeing like people are getting into the workforce. For example, in New York City, younger people, Gen Zers are, sharing apartments, like 2 and 3 people in one bedrooms. To make it make sense. And so I think those are some other challenges that we face in places like New York City.